A large portion of the Jewish nation has returned to its homeland, but the heart, soul, and mind of much of the Jewish nation are still in exile mode. This state of affairs must and will inevitably change. This is Torah Nation TV from Jerusalem, and we are speaking with the head of Machon Shilo, Rabbi David Bar-Hayim. Shalom, Rabbi Bar-Hayim.
Shalom.
What should a person suffering from celiac do with regards to the commandment of eating Matzah on the Seder night?
First of all, we have to define the Mitzvah, the commandment to eat Matzah on Leila Seder. How much does a person need to eat? The answer to that question is one kezayith, the volume of one olive. And as we have discussed on other occasions, the correct and true definition of the volume of a kezayith is 3 cc. The reason for this is that the olive referred to by Chazal, what they referred to in the Mishnah and the Sechet Kelim as a Zayith Benoni, an average olive, they refer to the type of olive known as Suri, or usually mispronounced Suri, which vary in size from 2.5 to 3.5 cc. So the average is 3 cc. In other words, a kezayith is 3 cc in volume, which is a very small amount. There is another kind of, another strain of olive, which is very common in Eretz Yisrael, both in the ancient past and the present, which is called the Nabali strain, and the average Nabali olive is 5 cc in volume. However, there are many reasons to believe that the olive referred to by the Chachamim was as the Zayit Benoni, the average olive in the Sechet Kelim, which defines for us the concept of a kezayith. The olive referred to was the Suri type of olive, which is 3 cc in volume. Therefore, if a person suffering from celiac disease can ingest an amount of Matzah, a volume of Matzah made from wheat or barley or rye, 3 cc in volume, then that person should do so, and that is sufficient to perform the mitzvah, and beyond that, this person does not need to consume any Matzah for the rest of the Chag of Pesach. If a person wants to be even more mahmir, even though it is not necessary, to be more stringent, then one could ingest 5 cc's, a volume of 5 cc, if we were to assume that the other olive is the one that was meant by Chazal, and that also is a very small amount, and many people, even though they do suffer from celiac, can ingest that amount. However, it is also true that many people suffering from this disease cannot ingest even that small an amount, whether it's 3 or 5 cc. This also will cause them serious problems, medical issues, and such a person is clearly patur, is exempt from the mitzvah of eating Matzah on Leila Seder, or the rest of Pesach, of course, when there is actually no chovah, no obligation to eat Matzah. That is the answer with regards to a person suffering from celiac disease. The suggestion that some have made that such a person consume Matzah made from oat flour from the grinding of oats, this suggestion is not a practical or very useful suggestion. First of all, it's very difficult to make any such Matzah because there is no gluten in oats and therefore it doesn't bind together. And second of all, it is very dubious, to put it mildly, whether oats are at all one of the 5 species of grain, and therefore even if one does consume such Matzah, one is not performing the mitzvah of eating Matzah on Pesach, because it has to come from the 5 species of grain. It is true that according to Rashi, oats are one of the 5 species of grain, but it is also equally true that from the Yerushalmi and from the Rambam, who writes that the 5 species consist of 2 types of wheat and 3 types of barley, it is clear that oats are not one of the 5 species of grain. So again, the correct procedure is as follows. If a person can ingest that very small amount of a kezayith on Leila Seder, of regular Matzah made from wheat or barley or rye, that is what the person should do, and as that is sufficient. And if that too is problematic, then the person is exempt from the mitzvah of eating Matzah.
What about people who do not suffer from celiac, but nevertheless experience pain or discomfort after eating wheat products?
I have been asked this question before on a number of occasions by people who have discovered, even though they do not have celiac disease, they discover that they suffer severe stomach pain, sometimes cramps, diarrhea, abdominal distension, etc., when they eat wheat products. Such a person who suffers great discomfort and pain when eating even small amounts of wheat is also patur from eating matzah on Leil HaSeder if the pains are severe. And certainly on Shabbat and Yom Tov, when the requirement to eat bread is not min ha-Torah but midivrei sofarim, from the Chachamim, from the rabbis, such a person is certainly exempt from doing so on a regular Shabbat or Yom Tov. If the discomfort level is minor, then the person is required to eat matzah on Pesach, but is not required, I repeat, not required on Shabbat and Yom Tov to eat bread, but seen that the chovah to eat matzah on Leil HaSeder is min ha-Torah. If the level of discomfort is rather minor, then the person is required to do so.
What with regards to spelt?
Spelt is also one of the grains from which matzah may be produced.
Thank you, Rabbi Bar-Hayim. We would like to encourage our viewers to share these videos with friends and send in your responses. We would also like to suggest the following opportunity to our viewers. If you identify with Rabbi Bar-Hayim's message and would like to sponsor or dedicate a video interview with the rabbi in honor or memory of a loved one, if you would like to obtain Birkon Nusach Eretz Yisrael or invite the rabbi for a speaking engagement, please email us at office@machonshilo.org.